What's going on, Dark Magical community, and welcome back to the channel. Today is the day you have all been waiting for, and that is the long-awaited return of the Dark Magician profile on my channel. I have just been kind of vibing, hanging out, waiting on Battles of Chaos to release so I could get some of the new support for the deck and try out some new ideas I'd been wanting to try for a while before I felt as if I'd kind of ran out of ideas with the deck. But new support means unlimited possibilities. So this is a deck that is going to look a lot different from any deck that you see on YouTube as far as the Dark Magician archetype goes. And I'm going to kind of speed through the initial deck profile to show off the list, and then we're going to go into the justification as to why we play the cards we play and the numbers that we do. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go through the deck very quickly, then we're going to go into some explanations. So before I begin, I'd like to remember to tell everyone to make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It just encourages me to make more videos like this, more hero videos, more Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos. And also, if you haven't already heard about it, check out the video in the description below. I'm doing a Magician Souls giveaway as well as giving away an exclusive Team Samurai X1 Dragoon playmat for reaching 1,000 subscribers by the spring. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So make sure that you subscribe. So we are going to jump into the initial deck profile first. And like I said, this isn't really going to have any reasonings for why we play anything that we do. We're just going to be showing off the list. So we start off, we have 2 Dark Magicians, 1 Dark Magician Girl, 3 Magician Souls, 1 Magician's Rod, 3 Illusion of Chaos, 2 Apprentice Illusion, 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons, 3 Black Metal Dragons, 3 Girasu the Orcus Mech Knight, 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and 1 Timaeus the United Dragon. Rounds off the monsters. So going into our spell cards, we have 3 copies of Preparation of Rites, 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, 3 Soul Servants, 3 Red Eyes Insight, 2 Dark Magical Circles, 2 Dark Magic Inheritance, 2 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 1-for-1, 1 Secrets, 1 Salvation, 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Magicalized Fusion, 1 Eagle Booster, 1 Hornet Drone, and 1 Engage. Then the last 2 cards in the deck are 1 Eternal Soul and 1 Return of the Red Eyes. So we'll get into the extra deck later as well. We're going to go through the main deck, and I'm going to explain why I'm playing the ratios that I'm playing. So first things first, 2 Dark Magicians and 1 Dark Magician Girl. This is all you ever really need. These guys don't do really anything. They are just here to fulfill engine requirements within the deck. I've never had a time where I needed 3 Dark Magicians ever. And if it ever does come up, you have Soul Servant that you can use to recycle. You have Eternal Soul, you have Return of the Red Eyes, and then we're using Dark Magician Girl, which could debatably be cut. I do like to sometimes get the float ability of the Dark Magicians as well as the additional draws from Soul Servant. So that is that. We have 3 Magician Souls. Not really a lot of explanation needed on this one. Obviously, this summons Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl and provides you with draws every turn. So not a lot to really say about this one. It's pretty much always going to be a 3 of in the deck as long as we can play 3. Things that look weird is the fact that we play 1 Magician's Rod, but it's basically because we play other normal summons. And even with playing 1 Rod, we're still technically playing 7 because we play 3 Prep, 3 IOC, and 1 Rod. So one Rod is completely fine. I've never wanted a second one or a third one. 3 Illusion of Chaos. This is a 50 card Dark Magician variant. So one of my main things with Dark Magician is the fact that I feel like the deck is all engine and doesn't have enough room to play things outside of its own engine that can help it do its job better. So we went up to 50 cards, so for that we wanted to play the maximum amount of starters that we could play. So that's why I played 3 of this and 3 Prep. Most people you see play 2 IOC and 1 Saravius, which I do think is correct if you're playing more of a like control type build, and I think that's completely fine. But like I said, playing in a 50 card variant, I think that the 3 IOC and the 3 Prep is very good. 2 Apprentice Illusion Magicians. She can combo pretty well with the new Timaeus Dragon. She's an extender. She can help Dragoon and Dark Magician out things they normally can't. Most people play 1. I think you could play 1. I think you could play 2. I think 3 is way too much. I also think that there's an argument to not play her at all. I've been testing 2. Once again, this is just a deck I've been testing out because I like to kind of break the mold for Dark Magician because I feel like the deck has a lot of potential. We play 2 Red Eyes because, number one, we're playing 50 cards. Number 2, we're playing Red Eyes Insight, so we need extra copies to be able to send off of Insight. It's fine. Sometimes you can resolve ref 2 turns in a row, which is really good. So we're kind of going high risk, high reward here. Okay, so the engine that's a little strange, the first one at least, is 3 Black Metal Dragon. So what does Black Metal Dragon bring to the table for Dark Magician that Magician's Rod doesn't? So my issue with Rod is technically categorized as a starter card, but Rod doesn't do anything that technically really gets your engine going unless you already have other cards. Rod cannot search monsters unless you already have Magician Souls to put a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician Girl in your graveyard to be able to search with Soul Servant. So I don't actually categorize Rod as an actual starter. I think Rod is more of an extender, where this card is definitely a starter. So the combo with this is you normal summon your Black Metal Dragon. We're going to, let's see, this is backwards to me. So we're going to link our Black Metal Dragon into a copy of Striker Dragon, which is going to trigger our Black Metal Dragon's effect to search a Red Eyes card. So we're going to search Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Next, we're going to need to special summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon by banishing Striker Dragon. Use his effect to revive back Black Metal Dragon. Next, we'll perform a Link 2, and we are going to summon our Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Now, this effect will trigger one more time because this is not a once per turn effect. So depending on what you need here, you can get your Red Eyes Insight. Like let's say, take for instance that you have Dark Magic Inheritance in your hand. Black Metal Dragon is going to set up this card very easily because you're going to send a spell off Verte, and you can go Red Eyes Insight, send a Red Eyes to be able to get Return of the Red Eyes if you need to get the extra spell, or you can just use Black Metal to go ahead and search Return of the Red Eyes. So Return of the Red Eyes is Return of the Red Eyes. It says if you control a Red Eyes monster other than Red Eyes Black Chick, target one normal monster in your graveyard and special summon it to your field. And if this card in your possession is destroyed by opponent's card effects into your graveyard, you can target a Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick, special summon it. So if this gets blown up, you can summon back Dragoon. But basically what this does is now we're going to use our Verte, and we're going to send Dark Magician, send Red Eyes Black Dragon and Red Eyes Fusion, and we're going to bring out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So basically what this does is just from one Black Metal Dragon, it accomplishes the goal of having Dark Dragoon plus a revival for Dark Magician. So now all we're missing is a way to be able to get to Dark Magical Circle, which we can accomplish through things like Soul Servant, obviously just hard drawing Circle, and even using Dark Magic Inheritance if you go the route of using Red Eyes Insight. So that is what Black Metal Dragon brings to the table. There's also a couple extra other things that you can do with this card I'll talk about as we get into the deck profile. So that's the reasoning behind Black Metal Dragon. Okay, the next card that is very different for Dark Magician decks is Girasu the Orcus Mekk-Knight. If you keep check on my Dark Magician videos, you'll find that I really like this card in the deck a lot. So basically what this guy does is on his summon, he Foolish Burials any Orcus from your deck. So your main thing that you're going to do is you're going to normal summon Girasu, activate effect descend. Most people are going to Ash right there because they don't want you to get Orcus Nightmare in rotation. Not saying that that is incorrect, because I feel like if someone blindly summoned Girasu, this would be what I would Ash. So if they Ash it, sweet, you're golden. If they don't, you dump another copy of itself. Okay? Then we use the secondary effect, summon a token to both players' fields. Now you're safe from infinite impermanence because they control a card. We're going to link our token into either Link Spider or Link Karibo, and then we are going to immediately link summon Girasu and link Karibo into Predaplant Verte Anaconda, which is going to summon our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So this guy is a very good enabler for Verte. Also going second, you can use the same combo to make Galatea the Orcust Automaton and overlay Dingirasu Orcust of the Evening Star, which can protect your board from the destruction of Eternal Soul or protect your Eternal Soul from destruction. So I really like how this guy brings additional lines of play to the deck and almost acts like a pseudo Called by the Grave by himself. You notice that we're playing a lot of normal summons, but we're also playing Allure, so this kind of does balance out that the normal summons you don't need, you can easily banish for Allure of Darkness. Then we're playing one Timaeus the United Dragon. Cool combo I'll also show you guys at the end of this video with this guy. The Sky Striker package is still included in the deck. This is a one-card Verte Anaconda. Was never really a big believer in Eagle Boosters before, but now truthfully, I 100% believe in the Eagle Booster. I'll show you guys this combo too. Play Magicalized Fusion, Called by, Magician's Salvation, which is basically our second copy of Eternal Soul. Secrets of Dark Magic, 1-for-1, which is going to summon our Black Metal Dragon. It can summon souls too. I can't really ever think of a time where you would really need to summon souls, but if it did, then it's there. 2 Red Eyes Fusion. Not a lot of explanation needed on these. I think this is pretty good. I think in the 40 card builds, 3 Ref is a little bit better, but because I'm playing Red Eyes Insight, I'm still technically playing 5 copies of Ref. Then speaking of Red Eyes Insight, we have 3 copies of Red Eyes Insight, which can search our Red Eyes Fusion or our Return of the Red Eyes. Also is nice graveyard setup for Dark Magic Inheritance, speaking of which is right here. Very easy to set up in this build. See, I'm playing this, testing this out to make up for the other copies of Rod. Might go down to playing 1, might go down to playing none. So far, every time I've drawn this card, it's been live. It's very easy to set up in the deck. And since you have other normal summons that you're committing to instead of Rod, this can help you get to your spells and traps. And then obviously 2 copies of Dark Magical Circle. Not a lot to say here. I think 3 is too much. I think 1's not enough. 3 Soul Servant, because we search every card in our deck. If we have Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, we can draw 2. Mentioned Allure of Darkness earlier. We have so many darks that we just don't care about. We have extra copies of Girasu, extra copies of Black Metal Dragon. This is completely fine in this build. There's nothing that you really care about banishing outside of your initial starter. And then 3 Prep, because we're basically playing 6 copies of IOC. 1 Eternal Soul, which is completely fine because we pair it with the 1 Return of the Red Eyes, which gives us 2 Dark Magician Revivals. In my experience lately, I haven't found that the games go super long, so I've never found myself needing, 2-3 copies of Eternal Soul. A lot of times I actually win by the time I just get the initial setup, Dragoon, Return of the Red Eyes, and Dark Magical Circle, because that setup is just so powerful, just getting it off of 1 card. So the extra deck is a little different too. So we play Striker Dragon, obviously, because we play the Dragon Engine, and we play Link Kuriboh, we play Link Spider, we have Kagari and Kaina. This is for the Sky Striker combo. We have Galatea, because we're playing the Orchist. We have Selene, Access Code. We also have 2 Predaplant Verte Anacondas. 1 Master of Chaos. This card can come up really good in the late game, which is something I'm going to talk to you guys about. 2 Red Eyes Dark Dragoons, 1 Dark Magicians, and 1 Girasu Orchestra of the Evening Star. So basically one of the combos that you can pull off mid to late game, like let's say you started off the game with this engine here, as you started off with making our Verte off of our engine here. In the mid to the late game, because a lot of times you're going to have gone through this guy already, what's really cool is the fact that you can use things like, let's say this is your hand, right? If you have these, and you have like Dark Magic Inheritance, or you have a Rod to normal summon, if you have a Soul Servant, any access that you can use to get to Secrets of Dark Magic in this situation can be a really big blowout play. So let's say this is your hand, this is your graveyard. So you can go Secrets of Dark Magic, fuse these 2 to make Master of Chaos. Master of Chaos effect can trigger to bring back a light or dark, so you can bring back Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Then you can use Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to revive back Timaeus. So not only do you have 3 really big beaters here, you also have the full requirement to be able to banish all your opponent's monsters just off of this. Does this come up a ton? Not a lot, but it is nice to note that that is something that the deck can do late game, being able to bring back that Red Eyes Darkness Metal. So our combo for Sky Striker is you have either Engage or Hornet Drones. Doesn't technically really matter. So this is the normal combo. So we engage, get our Hornet Drones. We Hornet Drones out a token. We link 1 our token into Sky Striker Ace Kagari, which adds back a Sky Striker card. So we're going to add back our Hornet Drones. Now it's important that we link 1 into Kaina first, because Kaina is going to allow us to gain 100 when we resolve Hornet Drones for the second time. So now we Hornet Drones again. I'm doing this backwards. This is kind of hard. To make another token. This time we link this token into either Link Kuriboh or Link Spider, and then we simply link these 2 into our Verte Anaconda. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that you had something like Engage plus an Extender. So anything that you can summon. Engage plus Girasu. We're just going to say Engage plus Magician Souls. So we can go Engage to fetch for our Hornet Drones. Now we can Hornet Drones, summon a token. Now we can link one our token into Kagari. This time we're going to add back our Engage. Now we're going to link one our Kagari into Kaina. Then we're going to activate our Engage again. This time we're going to go ahead and go get the Eagle Booster. So now we can go ahead and use our Magician Souls effect to special summon by we'll send a copy of Dark Magician Girl this time, because our Verte Anaconda resolving is going to put Dark Magician in the graveyard. Now we can link to here for our Predaplant Verte Anaconda. And let's say they have any kind of negation here, Gamma, Veiler, Imperm. We have an Eagle Booster that we can use to protect this to ensure that it resolves. So lots of things that you can do with the deck. Like I said, this is a variant that I've just been testing. I wanted to play something that was a lot different from the normal Dark Magician builds and just kind of break that curve and see what I can come up with. So if you've been watching for a while, you know that this is based off of the Duelist Academy build, and that the build played a lot differently from normal Dark Magician builds. I think that the deck needs multiple lines of play, or besides something just going Rod, Search, Summon Souls, pray they don't have any negation for Verte, and try to win through Dragoon. At least this way we have cards that are basically just free Dragoons without having to use an insane amount of resources. All that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is right now is one card engines, one card starters. If you're having to use 2 cards to get started, you're already 1 card behind everyone else. So this build is kind of made to try to compensate for that and try to catch some people off guard. So we're going to do some hand testing here with the deck. And keep in mind, like I said, this is a 50 card variant. This is the most cards in Dark Magician I've ever played. And doing that is because we play so many Garnet cards. Like we play 2 Dark Magicians, we play Dark Magician Girl, we play Red Eyes Darkness Metal, we play 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons. So the closer you are to 40, the more likely you are to see multiples of those cards a lot. So we're going up to 50 to try to compensate for that, which I think is completely fine in a deck that has so much search power, such as this one. So we've given this thing a shuffle. We're going to give it some quick cuts here, and we're going to draw our first hand. So our first hand, we have Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. We're already going for Verte. We have a Soul Servant. We have Magician Souls. We have Timaeus, United Dragon, and we have Called by the Grave. This hand is completely golden. We have several ways that we can play this hand. Naturally, we have the additional extender, so we can go for the Hornet Drones play, or the Eagle Booster play to ensure that our Verte Anaconda resolves. We have a Soul Servant. We can be able to search any card in our deck, and we have a Called by the Grave. Yeah, this hand is very, very strong. As soon as I saw Engage, I just knew this was going to be just a phenomenal hand. So this very good hand here. Obviously, like I said, you can tell that that last hand could go in a lot of different directions. You can do the standard Hornet Drones combo and just not use the Magician Souls, because you do have Call by the Grave, but you have to keep in mind, without the Eagle Booster, you can still lose to Gamma, and you can still lose to Infinite Impermanence. So we're going to do another one here. So we're going to give this thing some cuts. Cut, 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 cut. And we're going to draw our second test hand. We have Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. So we have a Verte. We have Timaeus again. We have an Allure. We have a Magician's Salvation. And we have a Secret to Dark Magic. Playable. Very playable. We have, if our Verte resolves, we do have a Dark Magician plus a Revival. We could technically make a second Dragoon on their turn if we revive back the Dark Magician with the Eternal Soul and then flip Secrets to fuse into another Dragoon. Very cool. It's kind of wild that I've opened up 2 Sky Striker cards in 2 hands. Hopefully the next one does not contain just Eagle Boosters. That would be very sad. Not always, though, because if you can get into Verte and you have Eagle Booster, it's such a good feeling. Part of me is almost still wanting to play Saravius. And maybe I eventually will end up putting Saravius in my deck. I definitely don't think Saravius is bad, and I definitely don't think this is the be-all, end-all of Dark Magician builds, but I do think that this is innovative, and it's something different. Next test hand, we have Girsu, we have Red Eyes Fusion, Allure, and we have Red Eyes Black Dragons. This is probably the weakest hand we've seen so far, just because we opened up both Red Eyes Fusions, so our Verte line isn't really going to be all that live. So how do we play this hand? We have two options. We can start with Allure, or we can start with Red Eyes Fusion. What would I do? I probably would start with Allure, and we're just kind of hoping we don't draw into a second Red Eyes Black Dragon here. So we draw into a Soul Servant, and we draw into a Red Eyes Insight. So we're going to banish a Red Eyes Black Dragon here, and then we can go Red Eyes Fusion. Then we can use the Soul Servant to get our Dark Magical Circle. And unfortunately, we had the other Red Eyes in our hand, so we're not going to be able to use the Insight to be able to go grab our Return of the Red Eyes. Kind of a weak hand. Some people have suggested playing Strength and Unity. Sorry, I wasn't trying to shuffle off camera. Playing Strength and Unity so that you can essentially have a third Red Eyes without technically playing a third Red Eyes. You can put it back in your hand or shuffle it back into the deck. And then it has an effect on field. If you Ritual or Fusion Summon using Dark Magician, you can banish a card your opponent controls or in the graveyard. I don't think that's a bad idea. That is something that's on my list to try out, though. So let's hope that we don't draw a double ref anymore. And 50 cards is crazy. We've been seeing all these really wild hands. So here we go. Here's our next test hand. We have Magician Souls, IOC, Dark Magic Inheritance, Red Eyes Fusion, and Apprentice Illusion Magician. So still a good hand. We still get to Verde, still get to Dragoon. We can definitely do some pretty good stuff here. So we're drawing really well. Even the hand I drew, two Red Eyes Fusions, was at least playable. Yeah, maybe not the most optimal, but what's weird is I still have not seen the Black Metal Dragon package. Where are you, Black Metal Dragon? Okay, we'll do a couple more test hands for you guys before we shut this video off. So going down one more time, I'm going to cut 3 times, and here we go. We have Soul Servant, Magician Souls, Red Eyes Insight, Soul Servant, and Red Eyes Fusion. These two Red Eyes Fusions, these are very loyal. Still a very strong hand. We could start with this, just hope it resolves. We can use Red Eyes Insight to go get our Return of the Red Eyes, and use Soul Servant to go get our Dark Magical Circle. It does feel very homely to be playing Dark Magician again after so long. Okay, last test hand. I could sit here and test hand with Dark Magicians all night long. Red Eyes Insight, which means we're getting to ref. Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes Fusion, Dark Magical Circle, and Magician's Rod. So, yeah, a pretty good hand. I don't really know why we're seeing so much ref when we only play 2. But versus playing 3 black metals. Maybe we'll do 1 more. It is kind of strange, as much as I've shuffled this thing, that we're still seeing Red Eyes Fusion when we only play 2. Sometimes that's just the way the game works, though. So let's try this one more time. This is officially the last one. I'm going to cut it several times here. So we have Illusion of Chaos, Return of the Red Eyes Insight, and Black Metal Dragon. Finally saw the Black Metal Dragon, so yet again, still a very good card. We can put this back if we want to be able to search it with this. Lots of options that we can do here. So, what do you guys think? Is this the most innovative Dark Magician build that you have seen on YouTube so far? I've talked with LOZA about this on several occasions. He is more than free to roast me if he would like. LOZA is a very good friend of mine. We bounce back and forth ideas on Dark Magician a lot, and this is one we've talked about several times, incorporating so much outside support into the deck to make up for the lack of power. So once again, please make sure if you enjoyed the video that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out the video in the description below about the Magician Souls and the exclusive Team Samurai X1 playmat giveaway. So this is Mike from Dark Magical Gaming signing out. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.